Vision, we need your help. Get us out of here. Lucky!
Run.
What's going on, everyone? It's Updog here with you, and today we have everything about Scarlet Witch. I am so excited that she's in the game. Ever since I saw her on What If, I was like, oh man, I really wish they would add her to Marvel Strike Force, so happy she's here. Let's get into everything you need to know about her, T4's abilities, just the kid in general, ISO, investment level, and should you core for her. So let's get into it. Now, this is on the test server, obviously, or not obviously, but as I always do, for some reason they put the T4s on there already for me, so we're going to kind of have to skip over those because that's what I like to do, and then we'll assess what the T4s are worth it. So for her passive, she kind of has a Black Bolt or Kestrel type passive where if anybody is killed by her, they can't be revived. So that's already super powerful. Starting her off with a bang here. She's going to gain barrier on spawn, as she'll give that to the other Undying characters as well. This part is the T4, so we'll skip over that for right now. So when Zombie Juggernaut dies, she'll summon another Zombie Juggernaut, so that's pretty awesome. That's part of one of the weaknesses of him, is if you have him at low stars, then he doesn't get a chance to revive. So this is great that she has this available in her kit. And like I said, she'll give barrier to Undying. She'll give Zugs, summoned Zugs, 2 charges, so get him to those 5 charges faster. So if she's above 50% health, she's going to not allow trauma to be applied to the Undying members, and also has the Captain Britain North Star type passive where it doesn't allow speed bar to be gained other than normal means, obviously, on the enemies. So it's all crazy powerful passive, something that honestly I expected her to be kind of OP just because in Marvel lore, Scarlet Witch is super powerful. I'm glad we finally have a powerful Scarlet Witch in the game. She may be a zombie, but that's alright. So her special is actually her turn 1 ability, so we'll go over that one next. She attacks the primary target for damage, no piercing on this one, but does apply Disrupted for 2 turns and bleed. So that doesn't need a T4, so that's pretty good for the Disrupted for 2 turns. So I always don't like it when they make an ability 2 turns with a T4. It just seems kind of like, I don't know, kind of lazy, I guess. So then after she attacks the primary target, can attack all the enemies for damage, apply a bleed, and then she'll apply Safeguard for 2 turns to herself and all allies. Now that includes anybody. That is not just Undying, that's any ally. So that's super great. And then if you're using her on offense in war, gives immunity to Undying allies. So that's amazing, having Safeguard and immunity on those characters. Gonna help Zugs survive more, Hela survive more, because Hela does have a problem sometimes that I've noticed where she'll just get trauma and some debuffs and then she just ends up dying. So that'll be good for her as well. And then if enemies have bleed, this attack gains 15% damage. Kind of lackluster bonus damage there. I would have liked to have seen like 20 or 25. Heck, why not 50? But it is what it is. Bonus stuff is bonus stuff, I guess, in this case. And then you'll notice a big theme that all of her abilities on war offense are unavoidable and can't be blocked. So pretty crazy stuff going on here with her. Then her ultimate It's going to clear all barrier on all enemies and flip. Without the T4, it's going to be flipping 2 positive effects. So we'll talk about that here when we get to the T4s. And then attack all enemies for this time it's piercing and prolong the duration of all negative effects. So kind of a call out to the original Scarlet Witch, prolonging the negative effects. I love that tie-in. Ignores defense up and can't be countered, and then like I said, unavoidable and can't be blocked if she's used on offense. So definitely pushing for the offensive side. They are pretty susceptible to quite a few teams on defense, so I wouldn't even try it, honestly. They're going to be able to beat most teams. I'd say they're probably going to be like a top 5 team, it looks like, based on my testing. So maybe even top 3. Just depends on where you're at in war. The lower you're at in war, I think the higher they're going to be. Higher or better team they're going to be, so... Alright, so the basic, attack primary and adjacents for just regular damage, apply heal block for 2 turns. I always like a basic that does heal block, it's kind of nice. If you do need a key heal block on a certain character, like let's say early in the match, you can opt to do the basic instead to help stop whoever's has crazy healing. Like right now it's like Odin or Spider Society or something like that. So... always love a heal block on a basic. This middle part here is for the T4, and then just again that can't be countered, unavoidable, can't be blocked type of thing. So pretty easy basic, I guess. We'll talk about the T4s though now. So for the passive T4, I think. So it flips all bleeds. I think this one's kind of a wait and see type one, because it depends on what teams you're taking Undying into. So that'll depend on if you have a bunch of bleeds on your team or not. So if you're using them against a bunch of teams that do put out bleed, then it might be worth it. But I think just overall, generally, I think this one is probably just kind of a luxury, I guess I would say, but it's a kind of a case-by-case scenario. So just keep an eye out for that. Keep that in the back of your mind. If you are seeing a bunch of bleeds on your team all the time when you use them, then I would go ahead and do it. Now the ult is flipping. Instead of flipping the 2 positive effects on the enemies, you're flipping all positive effects. So that one is super powerful. I think that one's definitely worth it. The ult, definitely want to do that one no matter what, I would say. And the special, more damage and then giving immunity for 2 turns. Now it doesn't give immunity. She doesn't give immunity at all until you put the T4 on. So between the ult and the special, I think the special, if you're low on T4s, like let's say you only have enough to do one or the other, I would do the special first, because you're gonna get that move. That's the first turn move, and you want that immunity on the team. So definitely do the special first and then do the ult. But if you have enough T4s, do them both, no problem with using those resources there, because they're great upgrades. The basic is kind of situational as well, kind of like the passive, where, so it's, if Zombie Scarlet Witch is not at full energy, apply bleed to the primary target, and then call in Zim or Zugs for an assist. So, it's a nice to have, it's not essential. So, I'm gonna skip it, personally. Those people who are heavy into war, I definitely could see them doing this one, but for me, right now, I'm going to hold off on the passive and the basic, and we'll just see how it goes from there. Because I'm the one that always says, spend those resources wisely, so that's what I like to do, is to live up to what I say. So as far as ISO goes, there's probably 3 choices that you could go with. I'm going to go with Raider, I think, to start off with. I'm probably only going to get maybe like a 3 or a 4 yellow. We'll have to see how the offers go. And we'll talk about coring here in a few minutes, but I do plan on buying her because I've been so excited to have her in the game. So I think the other choices could be a skirmisher or maybe even a fortifier, because she does get that barrier on spawn, so it'll just tack on more barrier. And because of her mechanic with her not allowing the speed bar gain and the trauma, it might be important to keep her alive. You do have Zugs to kind of protect her too, so that's why I kind of went with Raider. But a skirmisher, in case she's not landing some of her abilities, like the extend, I think is a focus resistance check. So obviously the disrupted is going to be a focus resistance check. So that's probably the lowest priority of the three, I would say, but it's still an option. So for me, Raider number 1 option, Fortifier number 2, Skirmisher number 3. Now, I don't know why she has this green glow. That part kind of bothers me. She got this green glow about her, kind of like the Hela glow, but anyway. The investment level. So I'm gonna, even though she's a really cool character that I really like, I'm gonna go with gear 18, probably level at 95, and we'll just have to see how it goes from there. I think you do want her big enough so that she will stay above that 50% level, but I don't think you need to max her out right away. Down the road, as more higher stat characters get into the game, you might need to take her up, but I think for now that's a pretty good starting point, and just go from there. So last thing to cover is, should you core for her? And because she's an epic character, here's our 4 epic characters in the game. They have a history of being very hard to get. So I don't know if coring is going to be an option, but if coring is an option for some kind of orbs or however we're going to unlock her, then I would definitely use those cores to get her at least unlocked, because we don't know when she will be available again. Zugs had a rerun of his event 6 months after his first event. I really don't know if they're going to do that or not. They might. Hopefully they do. But we'll have to see. So I'm always, even though it's kind of pushing that FOMO, I think it's worth it for these epic characters to spend your cores on them, so that way you at least have them and you can take advantage of their passives. So there you have it. That's all about Zombie Scarlet Witch. Hope you enjoyed that intro. I put a little bit of what if in there. Let me know down in the comments what you think of her, if you're going to get her, if you're going to core for her. And until next time, make sure you spend those resources wisely. See you around.